course it is. It's not even contradiction. It's hypocrisy is what it is. We have to call it what it is, not what it approximates to. It's hypocrisy. And because we use a precision language here, and precision language can only be a product of precision thinking. And with respect to any person that would say something like that, if they do indeed have a degree in Islamic studies, for them to tell someone of African extraction and African creation that it is a waste of time to get a degree in Africana studies or African studies, I think that it is disingenuous, and it shows a lack of clear insight in one's own disposition and demeanor. You're not really clear about yourself. You know, of course, I know. Only one person would say something like that. However, hey, I gotta shout the brother out. At least he mentioned me in his footnotes in his publications. Yeah, he certainly did. He got no choice in the matter. I made him big again. So, but here's the thing, though. The thing is like this. Now, the statement itself, I don't have a problem with. I have a problem with who it came from under the circumstances in which you framed the statement. You understand? But the statement itself, I have no problem with it. I don't. I have no problem with somebody saying, "Oh, don't get a degree in Africana studies because it's a BS degree." I personally think that that we can do the research, and we can even control the narrative without having to give them so much money. Because when you get that degree, hold on, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. It's like, look, it's like you giving them so much money to get back what is rightfully yours. You understand what I'm saying? That culture and that knowledge that they stole is yours. So for you to go and, it's like they're ransoming it back to you. You understand what I'm saying? So hear what I'm saying. But hear what I'm saying. Now, if we were going to shove our children in the direction to get degrees, it has to be degrees in finance. It has to be degrees in geopolitics. It has to be degrees in things. It has to be degrees in things that will directly affect our economic power. It has to be.
Hold on.
No, he didn't invite to tell us his opinion. He's entitled to his opinion. Yeah. Yeah, hold on. Well, hold on. I didn't. Well, hold on.
I know what I can stand on my dime.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Any subject
without question. Absolutely. So give the brother his shot.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Give the brother his crack. Absolutely. Give the brother his crack. So again, the brother here, he made a statement that I don't know what I'm talking about, which is an unfortunate statement because here, let me, okay.
Certain subject that you said, not everything.
Oh, to a certain subject that I said. All right, well let me finish before you interject. So again, what I was saying is that we're our and by the way, that came from a PhD. That comment didn't just come from a nobody. It came from a PhD who hey yo, Sonetta, you might want to pay attention to this part of the discourse. Sonetta, you might want to pay attention to this part of the discourse. I just made it very clear to the audience that's watching that statement didn't just come from a nobody, but it came from a PhD who said that I didn't know what I was talking about as with respect to what I was just saying. So now you're going to have the opportunity to see me have a discourse with a PhD and see how that ends. Okay? So here you go, brothers. By all means. He said, basically, let's be clear. Let's frame the argument. I said that from my perspective, and it's just my perspective, you can put as much gravity and water in it as you want. I said from my perspective, with respect to my value system, my current value system, I have no problem with the statement made that it's BS for an African person or person of African descent to go get a degree in Africana studies. I didn't get to finish why I said that or why I thought that, but before I did finish, my brother here, Dr. Professor Jahi, said that I didn't know what I was talking about. So I'm going to allow him a moment without hogging the mic and a filibuster. I'm going to allow him a moment to clarify his statement, and then I'm going to handle my business.
Okay, so do you know where Dr. Clark taught? For 30 years. Yeah.
He taught in the School for Social Research. He also taught at Hunter. I know he taught at Hunter because my mother was one of his students in his classroom back in 1976 when you were in grade
school. So yes, I was in grade school. Right. So in what department did he teach in?
He taught in Puerto Rican and Africana Studies.
Okay. Very good.
Any more questions?
Right. So that means that he taught people who got bullshit degrees in Puerto Rican like your mother, got a bullshit degree. No, that's what you said. No. You said that we can't go
I'm gonna let you finish.
To a university who has taken hostage of our information, but yet some of our greatest minds, including Dr. Ben, who taught at Cornell University, right, in the Ivy League school, Dr. Clark, who didn't even have a PhD in the classical sense. He didn't even have a high school diploma, but he retired one of the highest levels of professorship, right, and taught Africana studies to people like Dr. Ani, who wrote Urugu, one of his top students, right? And with that knowledge, she is going all over the world teaching our people. So when you make those type of comments, you got to be clear. Like you said, you did kind of rephrase and say to your own belief.
I didn't rephrase that. I said that from the beginning.
All right. Well, okay. Then I'm sorry. I didn't hear that.
Okay.
But and what I'm saying is that culture is just as important as economics and finance, right? And if you go into any university, right? Any university in the Western world, every subject is given the same equal access as another. I know because I've taught at several, right? You don't put a higher emphasis over economics and European history because European history promotes what? European cultural values, right? Because the culture is everything, and the thing that we're under attack. I wrote an article. My second article is called "How Black Colleges Are Turning White."
Brother,
and I no.
I want to address some of the things that you said.
Let me finish, brother. All right. Then I'm gonna let you address it. All right. I wrote an article. You can Google it. How Black Colleges Are Turning White, Part 2. At the bottom of that article, I talk about the attack. I wrote this in 2014. And I talk about the attack on Africana studies all over the country by white scholars. But now what I'm seeing is that we have black scholars, right, who are trained traditionally and some who are not. When I say trained, I mean those who have gone through the peer review process, saying that these degrees are not important, but all of us are impacted by Africana studies because it is the core of the culture. You don't have African economics without African culture. You don't have that. You start first looking at, if you want to study French, you start, if you're black, you start from an African point of view and you study French from an African point of view. If you want to study English, I study English from a black African point of view, and that's how I go into the world. I look at mathematics, computer science from an African, that's Africana studies, right? That's not BS, right? And these universities, some of us, right, who go to some of these, matriculate to these white schools.
Bro,
some of us,
we having a discourse.
No, I'm a teacher. This is what I do. So don't tell me I'm not giving a lecture.
Bro,
this is what I do for a living.
Yeah, on the real. Like,
all right, well, let me finish, and I'm gonna walk off.
Respect thing. Go ahead. By all means. I didn't do that to you. In fact, I stopped and I gave you the mic when I was in the middle of my
I'm gonna give it back because and I addressed it and I said you were misinterpreting some information. Not on that subject. You didn't. Not on that point.
Okay, that's fine. So you shared the perspective. So now let me say this. My brother, we have a difference of perspectives. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I just had to address his statement of him saying I didn't know what I was talking about. I don't open my mouth unless I know what I'm talking about. I have a proven track record that proves that. So I don't have to go on a roof with a bullhorn or stand on top of a pyramid with a bullhorn and profess that to the world. But what you have to understand is part of the reason that my brother feels so visceral about that subject matter is you have to understand that he has an invested interest. He has an invested interest in his perspective because his degree pertains to that subject matter. My brother has a PhD in, what is it, the Black Studies with an emphasis on Marcus Garvey?
No.
What is it?
My PhD. That's another, because you're not the first person to say no. My PhD is in U.S. history and the African diaspora.
Okay.
My expertise is U.S. history, African American history, and the African diaspora, meaning African people during the transatlantic European slave trade or the Great Maafa into the Americas up into the 20th century.
Okay.
And it's black nationalism. And within black nationalism, my primary scholarship is on the Garvey movement.
Thank you very much for clarifying that. I appreciate that. So again, as I said, my brother has a vested interest in such degrees because they pertain to his own vocation. So for me to say what I said, in some ways I can understand why he would take it the way he took it, because to some degree, if internalized and personalized, it would appear as if in somehow or some way I would be diminishing this brother, or if I would be diminishing brothers like, allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. There's no need to interject. I didn't interject when you were talking, bro. So again, exactly. Let me clarify some things for you. First of all, my mother sat in Dr. Clark's classroom at Hunter College, as I said, when you and I were both in grade school. So I'm very clear on who he was, okay, and what he did. I'm also very clear on his refrain that he said from the time he was a young man. His main goal was always to be a great classroom teacher. He always said that. Above all else, he wanted to be a great classroom teacher, and he certainly was on a world-class scale, no question about it. The same is true for Dr. Ben. Right. The same is true for Dr. Ben. As far as Remember Ani is concerned, the elder, the significant elder, the esteemed elder, she's also a colleague and a dear personal family friend, personal friends with my mother, and visits with my mother, or certainly socializes with my mother when she's visiting Ghana in Africa where my mother lives. So I'm no stranger to any of these people that you're talking about. These are all extended family members to me. So when I speak, I'm speaking with authority. I'm not speaking as an outsider who just figured this out a few weeks ago or a few months ago. I'm speaking as somebody who actually grew up with these people. You understand what I'm saying? Was in the same room with Dr. John Henry Clark. When Dr. John Henry Clark's wife sees me, Sybil, she asks me, how's my mother doing? They understand and know the family that I come from. So when I say what I said about steering young African people to get degrees in Africana, and I said that that statement has to be qualified and contextualized. That's basically what I said. It has to be qualified and contextualized. That's why I said if it's coming from Wesley Muhammad or anybody else in his position, that would be like, well, no, hold on. I would actually give it more credit if the statement came from you. If someone like yourself who had a degree in those types of studies, and you looked at other students and said, well, I think that it would be a waste of time for you to do that, I think you would certainly have a lot more authority to say it, and it would be much more plausible because it's coming from somebody from the inside. But from my own perspective, and all I'm asking to do is to give some deference, if not in total, some deference to my own perspective. And I cannot devalue my perspective simply because it may contradict and conflict with your own perspective. I think what would have been more appropriate would have been, rather than you say, I don't know what I'm talking about, I think what would have been more appropriate and more apropos as Senior Elder Mother Adelaide Sanford, the former regent for the New York State CUNY University system, I think for the New York Board of Ed actually. What she always talked about propriety and impropriety. In ancient Egypt, they called it the proper gesture. At any given moment in time, there's always a proper thing to say and or do. And I personally feel that you saying what you said when you said it, the way you said it was inappropriate, and it was not apropos. It was impropriety. And so what that does, all that's going to do is create unnecessary consternation. What we should have done, and the appropriate thing would have been to say, hey, well, Shaka, let's explore what you're saying and see if that's true, rather than to address me with, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. I said what I said based on plausible reasons. The reason that I said what I said is that if you look into other communities, I'm not saying that there are not Jews who have, let's just use the Jewish community for an example. I'm not saying that there are not Jews who who do not have degrees in Judaica studies. They probably dominate the Judaica study system, without question. But what I'm saying is that the problems that face the Jewish community are not the same problems that face the African American community. You understand what I'm saying? We have a different qualitative and quantitative set of problems, the immediate problems that face us. And what I'm saying, I will say to you what my mother used to say to me. And at the end, because she was also raising sons, not just daughters, and I found it very plausible. And by the way, my mother allow me to finish. Okay, well, hold on, that's your perspective, and then we will agree to disagree. The reason why I feel that's okay. Well, okay, that's your guess what? Hold on, brother, but hold on. You know what? Hold on, I have the microphone. He said it's his expertise. I'm gonna tell you what. Hold on, I'm gonna tell you something. It's still a perspective. It might be an expert perspective, but it's still nonetheless a perspective, and there's nothing that you can do to change. Your degree can't change that. It's still a perspective. Your degree is worth the paper and the ink that is written on, my brother. You understand what I'm saying?
No.
It is, of course it is, without question. Without question. Okay, and in any event, the point that I'm making.
See, he's not on my level.
The point that I'm making. Well, I tell you what, you can set up a debate anytime you want. Set up the debate anytime you want. Hold on, set up the debate. There you go.
I would debate you if you write a 5-page paper with footnotes on why you want to debate me.
Dude. Hold on, I offered the brother debate, but being that he has no debates under his belt, being that you have no debates under your belt, hold on, brother. Being that he hasn't debated me. He hasn't debated me. I'll debate, bro. We could go now.
All right. No.
Hold on. We gonna go now. You got it? You got it? You got it?
Right? But I already said if you want to debate me, write a 5-page paper.
Okay. All right. So in other words, he don't want to debate me. So in other words, he doesn't want to debate me. He doesn't want to debate me. But that's your opinion. That's your opinion. Look, that's your opinion. All right. And anyway, like I said, the point I'm making is this. Look, the point I'm making is this, right? Like I said, degrees, as my mother used to tell me, all the African knowledge in the world, if it cannot get you a token to get on the train, guess what? You're going to be stuck wherever you are. You understand what I'm saying? And all I'm saying is that we have to, as a community, with the type of issues that we suffer from, a degree in Africana studies is not going to stop these police from shooting us in the street. You understand what I'm saying? A degree in that. For some reason, he doesn't want me to speak. He just keeps interjecting. Well, but you can do it. But you know what your degree did not give you? Your degree did not give you respect. That's what your degree did not give you. So then your degree did not give you that. Hold on, look. I'm in front of the camera. Hold on. I'm in front of the camera and I got the microphone. A few times you come over here and try to elbow me out of the camera. That weight don't move me, bro. It don't move me at all. I'm telling you, you coming up against the wrong person the wrong way.
So why are you acting like that?
Because you disrespectful. I don't like disrespectful people. Come on, man. Okay? And I'm gonna treat you like you disrespectful. Come at me again like that. I'm gonna show you why my name is Shaq.
I ain't got nothing to do.
Real talk, bro. Don't come at me like that. I don't give a fuck about your degree. Fuck you.
How did I come to you?
Okay? Real talk, dude. You're a fucking hater. You're a fucking hater, dude. I know a hater from a million miles away. Fat fuck. Dude, come at me again like that. You find out why they call me Shaka. Real talk, dude. I'll crush your shit for free. Do it for real, man. Don't ever come at me like that again. Don't ever do that. Because I never came at you like that. Don't do that. Give me the same respect I give you. Fucking come at me like that. What's wrong with you, man? Give a fuck about your degree.
The camera's still on.
I ain't even on that level.
You are on that level because you know why you are on.